9:41 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, October 20th, 2022. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So, for anybody who's been watching for any extended period of time, we've been around for about 18 months, almost 19 now on YouTube. Big changes happening today. The whole line of the show is changing. I'm not happy with the production and the output, so I'm taking a big change on the show. So as you can see right out in front of you, big ISO section now. We're going to start out with Algorand. We're going to get into IOTA and a big news story about IOTA with the EU pushing digital twin use cases for reverse logistics systems and more. We're going to get into smart contracts with the Hedera, and then we're going to get into the surging US dollar, how it's making it almost impossible to afford anything in countries around the world. So that's what we're going to get into today. We're also going to get into the XRP chart, but the expansion starts today. You don't have to be part of Tom's Army to see the expansion. I will be putting special stuff in the members only section, but it's going to mostly be things that are requested by the community. But I'm starting an expansion on the content today. I was not happy with the way the content was coming out. I feel like I could be doing a better job, and sometimes we have to look ourselves in the mirror and say, you know, the content just isn't what I want it to be. Not that it was bad. Videos are getting 1,000, 1,500 views per video. It's the amount of content. It's the quality. Yes, I can do charts every day and make it look good, but I want to teach. I want you to have a clear understanding of the ISO. And when you see my charts today, you're going to notice the setup is all ISO related. So pay attention. After we do this intro, we're going to get into it hot and heavy. And we're going to start with, we'll take a look at the charts first, but we're going to go through a 4-part setup. We'll look at the charts. We won't go deep into the charts, but I want to go through these stories as well. I want to go through around the world. I want to talk about the surging US dollar. And then we've got Hedera, IOTA, and ALGO that are going to be a mainstay here on the show. Okay, welcome back, everybody. So as you can see on the charts now, the way it's set up is we've got our Bitcoin USD and USDT, which I kept together. We have Quant USD, followed by ALGO, IOTA, XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR, Casper, and then also Solo. Below that, we have DGB, VChain, ZIL. And then to the bottom, I have my XRP Perpetual Futures, USDT, and XLM USDT. So our main focus now is going to be on the ISO coins. I want everybody to understand what that means. That means the show is being expanded. That means there's not going to be any more 5-minute updates. This very well might end up being a 30-minute update. A lot of information to go about. If you don't like it, that's too damn bad, but I'm looking to expand. I'm looking to create better content, but I'm also looking to give more information, not just the charts. So this is going to be a fast pace, and it's going to be exciting. As you can see, Quant's down another $7.17 or 4.16%. Quant's down to 165.46, so it was just over 220 a week ago. So that's a pretty incredible turnaround, losing better than 20%. It's well within a bear market, probably about 25% down from the top. Bitcoin's hanging on still at 19,186, up 60 bucks. It bounced off of this critical downtrending support line, and that's a downtrending support line because that is the greater pattern. For anybody who's new, Bitcoin is in this descending triangle. It's hit 3 times on support. It's hit a few times on resistance. Now it's at the breakout point. And without it coming back into here and breaking this, I mean, if it continues to hold this, I still think that it's got to come down to 18,950. Unless it just goes miraculously out of here and ends up breaking up the 20,400 area, the 20,413. It looks like to me Bitcoin still has to come down to 18,965 approximately. But I mean, we could say it did do that yesterday and held it at 18,912. Now we're at the 20-day. This will be a key first attempt on the 1 hour. I like to look in the 2 hour, which we're right there as well. This would be your first logical rejection point here. If we were to hold it, we might be able to make a run to the smaller side. But right now, I wouldn't trust this market. This is the part where I like to sit back right now. I really do. and I like to watch to see where my next trade can come in. I'm looking for a short entry, but we have to see where it comes in. So that's just with Bitcoin. Those are the two areas I'd be watching. 18,914 approximately, or 950. And then you got 20,000 or 19,400 area. We've got this morning's chart. We've got, let's see, we'll go down ALGO, IOTA, and XRP since that's what I want to look at. And then we'll also look at HBAR. So we're going to jump in and out real quick. So ALGO, we're sitting on top of the 20-day, but our pattern, let me take it out into a wider scale so everybody can see. We're in a descend, or I don't want to say descending. I want to say more like a falling channel. Even though if we fall back into this is, the funny thing is I've been charting out with ALGO how to get back into these unbelievably low targets. And that's your, oh shit, we can't go back into that zone. Otherwise, ALGO has a huge drop. If we ever get back into that zone, and there is a line there, I'll take off this 2804 so you can see it. But if we ever break back into this box, this is how you can get to those extreme lows, which we had one chance to get into it already, and we bounced off of it at about 28.34, and now we've been in this sideways consolidation. If we break this triangle at 28.66 approximately, actually 28.20, it'll allow us to come down to 15.66. That's a 50% drop. That's something I've been waiting for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. A very, very long time. And if you look at this downtrending support, this actually is everything right now. That's your line. If you break below that, you can look out here. I mean, seriously, you have to look out. So that's what I'm looking at with ALGO. It's very simplistic, but my goal is to see it break this bear flag and then to end up breaking down and end up back at about 16 cents. That's what I'm looking at for ALGO. And then with ALGO, I would like to bounce into this real quick. And like I said, these are going to be long updates. So if you don't like it, that's okay. But this is an expanded look, and we're going to make this hot and heavy on each and every update. So you're going to have to stick around and pay attention. There is no time limit. The world's most powerful and sustainable blockchain, as we're talking about Algorand right now. Our institutional-grade blockchain infrastructure is the first and only to achieve decentralization, scalability, and security without compromises, and while being environmentally sustainable. So Algorand removed the technical barriers that for years undermined mainstream blockchain adoption. We designed the Algorand blockchain to give global innovators the fundamental confidence they need to affect change. Algorand, the green blockchain. We are born sustainable. Algorand is far more energy efficient than other blockchains and is going further by offsetting the small carbon footprint in partnership with climate trade. So, powering the economic models of the future. As the technology of choice for 2,000 plus global organizations, the Algorand ecosystem is transferring the next generation of financial products, protocols, and exchange of value. This is why I'm so bullish on Algorand long term. We can go through the Folks Finance. We're going to go through all of this. So the first thing we're going to look at is Folks Finance with Algorand. Total value locked. 86,832,240.58. Algo Liquid Governance, a unique feature that allows users to participate in Algorand Foundation governance and earn yield without renouncing their liquidity thanks to GAlgo. So it's a good way to make some interest, some money on your money. Their carbon neutral partnership with climate trade to offset the environmental impact. Ease of use, innovative UI designed for an intuitive and simple user experience. Innovative features, rewards, aggregator, lock and earn. So there's a lot of things to earn with, a lot of partnerships. So I just wanted to go through that. AlgoFi, the DeFi hub built on Algorand, decentralized exchange, lending, market, and stablecoin. Earn, interest, borrow, and trade, and you can do that here as well. You can leverage, you can earn USDC. There's your protocol security. Total supply 124 million. Amount borrowed 26.9 million. DEX TVL 19.6 million. 24-hour trading volume 423,900. So cool stuff here on the Algorand network. We've got LimeWire and also Parawallet. And then we're going to explore the full Algorand ecosystem here. So there's a lot of stuff that we have to get into with Algorand. So that is your first peek at what we're going to talk about with Algorand. Now, Let's get into the XRP chart. I got a little bit of news to go with XRP as well. It's not on that other page, but got something to read. So the most simplistic way to show my XRP chart is not on this chart. This is actually a pain in the ass chart. This is our USD chart. This is where we've got all the possibilities here, yes, but it is a little sloppy. And right now we're up to the 20-day. And that was the little channel that we had, but I can make a better pattern so that it's easier to see. But I don't really want to do it on here. I would like to let this just trade through. So let's go to the perpetual futures chart. This is the one where it's very simplistic to see. So this is, you have the ascending triangle pattern, which we hit the support perfectly, right at 44.91. Remember our technical target down to the 44.93 or 44.99 area from the big drop point, which we hit that on. If we break this, this is how we can initiate a move down to the extended bear flag around 38 cents. But we have to break this ascending triangle or bull flag setup. If we continue to move up and break these areas, which to me it still looks bearish, but if we were to somehow break up, your top resistance would be around 52.5 cents. Looks ultra bearish to me this morning, though. If I'm being honest, this looks bearish. We haven't completed this divergence yet. We have a nice cross here in the 4-hour, but we haven't completed this move. You can go all the way down to the 2-hour. You can see the move is just kind of making a rebound attempt here, but there is not a lot of volume. I would expect, even if this came up, to be rejected at 47.56, even if it got up there. But at 46.80 area, looks to be a very heavy line of resistance. Looks to be the 100% accumulation zone. Like, that's where 100% of the technical traders would probably be if they were going to short this market again. So that's a quick look at XRP. Because we already know XRP's pattern. We're already very, very, very deep into XRP's pattern. And the reason I wanted to share this XRP news is because it has to do with the FLARE airdrop. So Flare is set to release nearly 2 years after XRP snapshot. So the Flare project will airdrop its Flare, and I've been told or asked this by countless people over the last 18 months. So here's your answer if you're paying attention. The Flare project will airdrop its Flare token to eligible XRP holders after nearly 2 years. The project aims to bring smart contract features to Ripple. After a nearly 2-year-long wait, the Flare project is finally airdropping its Flare token to XRP holders. The project released a new distribution schedule recently, saying that the token distribution would take place between October 24th and November 6th, depending on discussions with exchanges. Flare had planned to airdrop the token in the first half of 2021, as stated in its announcement in late 2020. The snapshot of the network itself is from that period, and there are a total of 100 billion Spark tokens. All those eligible for the airdrop will receive 15% of the claimable Spark tokens, which have been allocated to them. Following this, the remainder will be handed out over a minimum time frame of 25 months and a maximum of 34 months. That averages to 3% per month. All those who have held XRP in exchanges that have participated will be eligible for the airdrop. Among the platforms that support the airdrop is Crypto.com. Excluded accounts include Ripple co-founder Jeb McCaleb and accounts known to have received XRP as a result of fraud, theft, and scams. The distribution follows this schedule because the team believes that it will help achieve a successful network launch and provide strong incentives for network participation that builds utility. It also says that it provides much larger rewards for participants that bring value and utility to the network. So that's good news about Flare for anybody who's wondering about the airdrop. You should be getting it in the next few weeks. And then it's going to take about 2 to 3 years at 3% per month to get the rest of your airdrop. Now let's get into IOTA. IOTA sits up plus 2.44% on the day at 24.73. Very, very good buy zones. Very good deal. We've talked about IOTA for many, many months, and over the last a year and a half, almost 2 years. IOTA's pattern is starting to fill in very nicely for me. I watch this even though I don't share it every day. I still watch it every day. And honestly, this is looking beautiful. IOTA's looking beautiful. As far as we are in that spot where we have to make it. It's a make it or break it time for IOTA. Let's call it for what it is. IOTA is in a make it or break it zone. Right now we're barely. I'm going to take this off. We're barely in this over this support area. So once we break back, and you can see big wick here, that's a sign of exhaustion in this area. Little wicks to the top wick. But once we break this downtrending support line, in this, so basically we need to break 23.94, come down here and get down below 22 cents. When you get below 22 cents, this is how you get down to this first. And these are all messed up. Because that's going to meet. These patterns all have a reason. There's all a rhyme or a reason with what I do. And they might look stupid, but that's okay. I know. They have a rhyme and a reason. So, we're trying to get down to this X marks the spot. And it seems crazy. But if IOTA really does break down here, you really could be looking at a 5-cent IOTA in the future. You really could. Right now, we've got this really strong support line that we don't want to break just yet. And it's a symmetrical support. Fairly symmetrical. And then if we want to add in the very short term, we can also do this as well. We don't have to hide from the pattern, ladies and gentlemen. So you can see how it tried to break out, but it stayed within. So that is the extended bear flag that we're in. It's all signs are coming to an end here. You see how the pattern's getting very tight? If we break down, we're breaking down. And if we break down through here, that's 23.78. We also want to break down 23.38. These are main areas, 23.49 or actually. If we break back up, we can break up in this zone to 27.66. We break that, our next support's going to be around 30 cents or resistance. Now, let's get into a very important article when it comes to IOTA. So IOTA and the EU pushing digital twin use cases for reverse logistics systems and more. So the EU is working on building a circular economy for industrial robots, outdoor power products, and electric vehicles, and IOTA's digital twin feature will play a crucial role. IOTA's digital twin system can help in ensuring the full traceability of each product and component in the supply chain. The IOTA network has been popular for offering solutions to real-life problems in the supply chain industry. IOTA employs the directed acyclic graph DAG DLT technology, which makes it stand out from most blockchain platforms. Now the European Union is working on pushing the digital twin use cases offered by the IOTA Foundation. The EU is working on building intelligent circular life cycles for industrial robots, outdoor power products, and electrical vehicles. Yes, the IOTA Foundation is still involved in pushing at digital twin use cases. So, through its innovative training program, iCircular3 will incorporate circular economy principles for the European economy in each of the three above sectors. The iCircular3 is a 3-year project starting January 1st, 2023. As the EU stated, each of these 3 sectors will explore the possibility of a circular economy from different perspectives. This includes product and service design, reverse supply chains, users, and stakeholders, reverse logistics systems, and much more. The official announcement notes, iCircular3 will recruit and train 9 researchers to conduct sector-specific projects related to circular life cycle perspectives. Combined together, the projects will contribute to the development of new guidelines and digital tools for the integration of circularity in industry, as well as the identification of cross-sector commodities. The strong economic industry interaction in iCircular3 will ensure the relevance of each research project. So, IOTA and digital twin use cases. As we know, the IOTA blockchain is one of the most sought-after platforms for supply chain management systems. The IOTA blockchain provides the facility to store crucial information in a secure and open infrastructure. The IOTA Tangle technology offers immutability of data in addition to sharing information across customers and users in the value chain. The use cases of IOTA is digital twins for manufacturing are very large. After storing all the data in IOTA Tangle, users can get full traceability of each product and component dubbed digital twin. Every product in the manufacturing value chain remains safe and can be identified using a serial number. Interestingly, IOTA's public infrastructure doesn't require any fees or the use of digital assets to store the data in a decentralized manner. Thus, it offers an optimal setting for digital twins and other assets to be safe against manipulation while sharing it with partners in the production value chain. Additionally, the digital twin of the product cannot be altered. Thus, it will serve as proof when it comes to require regulations, a complaint, or recall of the cause of the effect. Very, very interesting stuff with IOTA, and I'm glad I could bring that to you. Stay tuned for more information on IOTA, the charts, and the blockchain, as I'm very, very excited about this new rollout that I'm doing, the expansion of my show. So join Tom's Army, get the Telegram, and you can stay even closer to what we're doing here. And the most important part of joining the Telegram is how often do you want to talk to somebody related to crypto? How often do you want to know somebody who believes in the same things as you? It's hard to talk to people about crypto if they don't give a shit about it. It's hard to talk about XRP or the ISO coins if people don't understand it. Join a community of people that understand. For $9.99 a month, it's the best investment you can make. It'll help support me. You pay it forward. I don't ever ask for anything. I do this all out of the goodness of my heart and for historical record and to have some historical data. Now, moving on to the HBAR. HBAR, I have a very nice chart for everybody. We're in a very big bear flag, and there's a lot of things in this pattern that I'm going to simplify here, because these are just little things I do when I trade. But I'm going to make this a little more simplistic for everybody, because some people don't like to see all the lines. They just want to see a nice, easy, simplified way of trading this market. So I'm going to give you it. So right now, here's our main areas of support resistance, because we're not looking at the top part of the pattern. We've already broken down from here. That's our extended bear flag. So we're broken down here a little bit, but the pattern's already been put out here in front of us. So we have a resistance level right here that if we get rejected on, as we are right now at 622, it'll bring us down to about 5147. That would be our next drop point, and that's going to see if we can hold this double bottom on the bear flag. If the bear flag breaks, we've already got this marked out. Our first level would be 024 if this breaks, which would have to break this level at 504. But if this breaks, there's not much left in between, ladies and gentlemen. The next accumulation zone is all the way down here at like 296, which is this uptrending support line. Right now, we're on this little more of a parabolic spike here. But once we break that somewhat of a parabolic spike, which you can see it right here, it started. That's this third line. Once that breaks, we've got the fan system. So right now, we got the resistance at 627. Underneath, we got 5219. And then if that breaks, we're looking at there's a lot of stuff in the market. If we break these crucial levels, that we're looking at a 50% drop. We would be looking at a 50% drop if we lose these zones that are coming up here and about 10% down, maybe a little bit farther on IOTA. I mean, on Hedera, HBAR. Yeah, if we lose 14.29% and lose that 5-1 support roughly, that is how you can initiate a 50% drop, which would be a 64% drop from where we're at. Just let that sink in. So that's what I'm looking at with HBAR today. So pay attention to those numbers. And now I would like to get into a little information about HBAR. And I know this is a very, very jam-packed update, but get used to it, because I'm tired of the little 5-minute to 10-minute updates. I enjoy doing 30 to 45-minute updates. I enjoy putting a lot of information in a single update and then letting everybody come back, rewatch. I would implore you to watch this more than once. You're not going to get this kind of information on most sites, on most channels, in one update. They'll split it up into 5 or 6 updates. I'm not about that. I want you to see everything, and if you're willing to watch, you're going to watch. So Hedera Smart Contracts 2.0. Smart contracts done smarter. 10 times faster than blockchain alternatives. Carbon negative, always predictable gas fees. So Hedera is owned and governed by the world's leading organizations. Hedera is the most used enterprise-grade public network for you to make your digital world exactly as it should be. HBAR is the native energy-efficient cryptocurrency of Hedera that powers the decentralized economy. Whether you're a startup or enterprise, a creator or consumer, Hedera goes beyond blockchain for developers to create the next era of fast, fair, and secure applications. The third-generation public ledger, Bitcoin pioneered decentralized infrastructure, and Ethereum brought programmability. But early proof-of-work blockchains consume massive amounts of energy and process transactions slowly in order to achieve acceptable levels of security. Heavy bandwidth consumption by these technologies lead to expensive fees, even for a simple cryptocurrency transaction. The Hedera proof-of-stake public network, powered by Hashgraph consensus, achieves the highest grade of security possible, ABFT, with blazing fast transaction speeds and incredibly low bandwidth consumption. By combining high throughput, low fees, and finality in seconds, Hedera leads the way for the future of public ledgers. And then transactions per second. 3 plus transactions per second, Bitcoin. Ethereum, 12 plus transactions per second. Hedera HBAR, 10,000 plus transactions per second. Average fee, Bitcoin, $22.57 USD. Ethereum, $19.55. Hedera, 0.0001 USD. Transaction confirmation, 10 to 60 minutes for Bitcoin. 10 to 20 seconds for Ethereum. 3 to 5 seconds with finality. Energy use per transaction, 885 plus kWhs, kilowatts. For Ethereum, 102 plus kilowatts. For Hedera, 0.00017 kilowatts. So that is a nice piece of information for everybody who's interested in Hedera, just to get a nice little look at what it does in comparison to Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Hedera network services connect to Hedera in the language you know best, like JavaScript, Java, and Go to launch fast, fair, and secure applications on the decentralized network. Token service. Mint and manage fungible and non-fungible tokens on Hedera for application, payments, governance, or digital collectibles. Consensus services. Record immutable, verifiable, and fairly ordered event logs for any application or permission blockchain framework. Track assets on a supply chain, IP rights, or identity credentials, and that's built directly on Hashgraph. And then smart contract service. Run solidity, I don't know. I can't say it for some reason this morning. Smart contracts. Deploy smart contracts in popular languages, including Solidity. Oh my God, so I can say it that easy right now, Solidity? Well, what the hell? And Viper to create decentralized applications and protocols. So a very nice look at Hedera. I have so much stuff to talk about with Hedera. Talk about the network first. We're going to get into the network. We're going to get into the devs, use cases, HBAR governance, and resources. I can't wait to expand on HBAR. And then today, we're going to end it with this, ladies and gentlemen. How the surging US dollar is making it almost impossible to afford anything in countries around the world. And this was put out at 7:05 a.m. just 2 days ago. So if you're watching, make sure to hit that like button. I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, as we are very, very close, within 5 of 14,400 subscribers. I can't thank everybody enough. Make sure to hit that like button to show your appreciation for the time I put in, as this is going to be over a half an hour update. And then also, make sure to share this far and wide. So what I tell everybody is watch. So you watch the content, you recycle it. You share it to friends and family or somebody who hasn't seen it, and then you repeat. You come back and watch the next update. So watch, recycle, repeat. Hashtag watch, recycle, repeat. Hashtag be better, do better. So the cost of living in Cairo has soared so much that security guard Mustafa Gamal had to send his wife and year-old daughter to live with his parents in a village 70 miles east of Egyptian capital to save money. Gamal, 28, stayed behind working 2 jobs, sharing an apartment with other young people, and eliminating meat from his diet. The price of everything had been doubled, he said. There was no alternative. Around the world, people are sharing Gamal's pain and frustration. An auto parts dealer in Nairobi, a seller of baby clothes in Istanbul, and a wine importer in Manchester, England, have the same complaint. A surging U.S. dollar makes their local currencies weaker, contributing to skyrocketing prices for everyday goods and services. This is compounding financial distress at a time when families are already facing food and energy crunches tied to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. A strong dollar makes a bad situation worse in the rest of the world, says HBAR Prezed, a professor of trade policy at Cornell University. Many economists worry that the sharp rise of the dollar is increasing the likelihood of a global recession sometime next year. The dollar is up 18% this year, and last month hit a 20-year high according to the benchmark ICE U.S. Dollar Index, which means the dollar against a basket of key currencies. The reasons for the dollar's rise are no mystery. To combat soaring U.S. inflation, the Federal Reserve has raised its benchmark short-term interest rates 5 times this year and is signaling more hikes are likely. That has led to higher rates on a wide range of U.S. government and corporate bonds, luring investors and driving up the U.S. currency. Most other currencies are much weaker by comparison, especially in poor countries. The Indian rupee has dropped nearly 10% this year against the dollar. The Egyptian pound 20%, the Turkish lira an astounding 28%. Salah Khaledi, 60, sells infant clothing and diaper bags in Istanbul because he needs more lira to buy imported zippers and liners priced in dollars. He has to raise prices for the Turkish customers who struggle to pay him in the much diminished local currency. Waiting for the new year, he said, we'll look into our finances and we'll downsize accordingly. There's nothing else we can do. Rich countries aren't immune. In Europe, which was already teetering toward recession and soaring energy prices, €1 is worth less than $1 for the first time in 20 years, and the British pound has plunged 18% from a year ago. The pound recently flirted with dollar parity after Britain's new Prime Minister, Liz Truss, who resigned last night or early this morning, the shortest run ever, announced huge tax cuts that roiled financial markets and led to the ouster of her Treasury Secretary. Ordinarily, countries could get some benefit from falling currencies because it makes their products cheaper and more competitive overseas, but at the moment, any gain from higher exports is muted because economic growth is sputtering almost everywhere. A rising dollar is causing pain overseas in a number of ways. It makes other countries' imports more expensive, adding to existing inflationary pressures. It squeezes companies, consumers, and governments that borrowed in dollars. That's because more local currency is needed to convert into dollars when making loan payments. It forces central banks in other countries to raise interest rates to try and prop up their currencies and keep money from fleeing their borders. But those higher rates also weaken economic growth and drive up unemployment. So to put it simply, this is the last part I want to read. It's down here. The soaring dollar in 2022 is uniquely painful. However, it is adding to global inflationary pressures. So that's what we wanted to talk about. It's disrupting the energy and agriculture markets. And then in Manila, Raymond Manilog, 29, who drives the colorful Philippine minibus known as a jeepney, complains that inflation and especially the rising price of diesel is forcing him to work more to get by. What we have to do is earn enough for our daily expenses, he said. If before we traveled our routes 5 times, now we do it 6 times in the Indian capital, New Delhi. So this is just a bunch of people who are suffering the same fate. So something you need to understand about inflation in the USA, the surging US dollar, is making it very difficult around the world. I really appreciate everybody who stood in, watched this 32-minute update. I really, really appreciate this. Let me know in the comments what you think about the expanded content, the new look, and the new feel of the channel.